Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by Madisonville Marine. When it comes to finding the right boat for you, the person to turn to, Steve Sloan. Another person to turn to, Joe Special, or any of the team at Madisonville Marine down there. You don't reach their level of decade in, decade out success by accident. They'll take care of you just as they have taken care of thousands of other boat buyers over the years, including our own Bob Hodge. All right, want to welcome in the next round of panelists. I caught you with coffee in your mouth, or you would have. Yes, I agree. Right down there, VFL Sterling Hinton. Right down there, Chuck Cavaleras. Gentlemen, thanks for being here.
Sir.
Quentin Dormady put up some good numbers yesterday, 13 of 18 with 2 touchdowns, 194 yards. He had a bad interception that was a bad mistake in the end zone on an underthrown ball. Came close to throwing a pick six. It was like he didn't get enough there, and it was almost a pick six. Strip sack for fumble. He's a work in progress. He started 2 games. I mean, he's not going to be Peyton Manning out there quite yet. But let me ask you this. We'll get through the first part of this pretty quickly. When you saw Garantano out yesterday, he's got room to grow too. Are they starting the right guy in Dormady? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think so. I think he's got more command of the offense. He looks more comfortable out there. I think just from the team around him, sometimes you look at how the team responds around him. I think the team thinks he's the starter, and that's the most important thing, almost more than anything else. Who do they think should be the starter? And I think they think the coaches have selected the right guy at this point in the season.
Okay, quick answer. Just yay or nay. Are they going with the right guy?
Right now, yes.
Chuck?
Yes, and same things we've been hearing since spring practice.
Okay. Josh Dobbs. He's not as good as Josh Dobbs. There were a lot of people that were saying, oh, wait till you see this passer come in here.
Right.
Well, he may turn into that, but as of today, your offense would be better if you had Josh Dobbs back, obviously, I think.
Gosh, I don't even think it would be close right now.
I don't either. Does anybody else agree with that, or does anybody disagree with
I
that?
agree with that, but I would compare it to Josh Dobbs after he started his second game. I would compare it more to Josh Dobbs early in his career than Josh Dobbs when he was at the end last year.
No, I get that, but what I'm saying is you had a lot of people last year saying, well, we get rid of Dobbs and we're going to put Dormady in there, and then you'll see something, forgetting the fact that Dormady's going to have to grow up as Dobbs did. All right. So,
no speed like game speed at quarterback. No speed like game speed.
well, let me ask you this. In terms of Dormady, what you've seen so far, where do you think he measures up? Is he where you thought he would be? Do you think he's a little better than what you thought? Maybe a little more growth needed than what you thought? Where are you with Quentin Dormady at this point? Chuck?
I think there's a lot of things to like, but so far we really haven't seen, I don't think that much where he's been flushed out of the pocket, and I think that's more of what you're going to see against some of these top defenses. But he's made a lot of really good throws. His receivers dropped 5 balls against Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech was able to rush 3 guys and get pressure and drop 8. That's tough for a quarterback when that's all you got to work with.
I will say this, some of his drops were
They would have been
low.
good catches.
They would have been good catches, yeah.
Yeah.
But still, I think he's been solid. I think they had too high expectations right out of the gate. Sterling, let me ask you this: former quarterback yourself, Juwan Jennings, the #1 target all off season that you've worked with, you've planned on, he's gone. Tyler Bird, he was out yesterday. Josh Smith, he hadn't been playing. So Marquez Callaway has stepped up. Big. But the rest of the time, Johnson, Palmer, George, you're trying to find this guy. You've got a rotation of guys. You're trying to figure out who's the other guy. That isn't easy on a quarterback in terms of knowing exactly who to go to and where they're going to be route-wise. I think that can impact accuracy. So when you look at Dormady and say, well, he's not quite as accurate as I thought, how much of that could be impacted by the fact you get different receivers out there?
A lot of impact. It's incredible. You got to have continuity with your receivers as a quarterback. I think that also hurt Jared's performance yesterday. How amount of reps he's gotten with the new receivers, and they're going back and forth with the ones and the twos. With his performance yesterday, but he's still connected with a touchdown. What Quentin's dealing with right now, he doesn't have his top dogs out there, but we expect him to be top dog quarterback. Well, he's got some drops. We still expect him to be a top dog quarterback. As long as he doesn't turn the ball over and does what he's going to do, because he's a better runner than we give him credit for, and Garantano's a better passer than we give him credit for. But as long as he does his thing, we're going to be all right on offense.
Thoughts?
I thought the one thing that I liked about Dormady has been his reads have looked pretty good.
Absolutely.
He's been inaccurate. I mean, his throws haven't been great, but it looks to me like he's throwing it to the right guy, and I think that's pretty important. Yeah. You know, even if you miss the guy, at least he's seeing the defense and he's making the right decision, and the other stuff should come. as everybody works.
And
more
you got to
together.
remember, Bob, and some of those passes that made me a little bit errant were under duress. Some more
Yeah,
under duress.
yeah.
And I also thought, the first half of the Georgia Tech game, he put a couple of balls into coverage.
Yeah.
Then it seemed that the jitters went away a little bit, and he stopped. He hasn't done that as much. Will, your thoughts on how the receiver situation might be impacting the quarterback?
Well, I could definitely see how it makes an impact because, I mean, there's a level of trust when you're looking around at your reads and all of a sudden you have to turn to that last read and you're like, you pause a little bit and go, is this guy in the right spot that I would expect him to? And you check with your eyes first. Normally, if you've been working with a lot of different guys and you go through your reads, you're throwing basically when you turn to that last guy because I know he's going to be there because I've practiced long enough with him. At this point, he's still having to check everybody and go, are you really where I want you to be, or am I throwing it to the other team?
Right, and are you running the route exactly as I want?
Yes.
Break it here, cut it off here.
Right.
I was in Foxborough on Thursday. Patriots had lost two of their four receivers from last year. Then they lost a third receiver from last year, and Tom Brady suddenly didn't know what he was doing with the football. So that's why when you look at Dormady, it's not always on the quarterback. Some of that receiver stuff, if you're not comfortable with who's out there, that can mess up the accuracy a little bit. All right,
Yes.
guys, when we come back, we're going to talk about positions across this team. Which ones are better, which ones are worse than last year? We're 16% of the way through the season. It's time to judge. Come on back.